Can you believe that today is December 31st, 2021? So this video is going to probably go up on January 1st, 2022, but it's such a surreal feeling because for me, I have honored my New Year's resolution that I set on December 31st, 2020, which was to do a makeup look for every birthstone of the year. And I had made that decision right after I had watched online New Year's Eve service, and I was thinking about, you know, what I wanted to do with my life, and the theme for the sermon was new. And so one of the things I had always wanted to do was to have a YouTube channel, and my excuse was like, well, I don't have enough clients that will watch it. I don't, you know, my friends are not into makeup like me, so I'm not gonna have any support. Who's gonna watch it? And forgive me if you hear Midori, my little cat, meowing in the background. I just never felt like there was a reason to do it because I didn't feel like it would be supported. It would just be a lot of time and effort wasted. And so then after I heard the sermon, I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push myself super hard. I'm just going to make one video a month, and there's a birthstone for every month. So I'm just going to do a video for the birthstones every month. And then I got an email from BH Cosmetics, and it wasn't like a partnership or anything like that. I just happened to check my email right after the new year, and they announced that they were going to have a birthstone collection and that a palette was going to come out every month. And for me, that was confirmation that that is what I should do in 2021. Had no idea BH Cosmetics was planning to do that. I had made the decision to do it on a whim, but I felt like it was confirmation that that's exactly what you need to do. And so I made the effort, and I did very well all the way up until June. And then after June, work got busy because I still work from home. I have an everyday job, and working from home, I actually work close to 10, 11, 12 hours a day compared to the 8 hours that I was working in the office, or 7 hours if you don't include a lunch break. So my work hours dramatically expanded, and I couldn't dedicate as much time to filming and editing because I did not realize the work that YouTubers go in to do when they do these videos, and to edit them down to like 20 minutes. I'm not that great in my skill. So that's one of the reasons my videos are like an hour or an hour and 30 minutes long, but it's also to show you the full time frame it takes to do makeup. Doing your makeup in 30 minutes, yeah, you can do it in 30 minutes, but you skip out on some of the steps that you do. And I probably add another 15, 20 because I do talk like it's been almost 4 minutes of me talking about how I got here. But I think at the end of the year, one of the best things you can do for yourself in preparation for the next year is to reflect on what you've learned and what you've done, what you've gained, what you lost, and what you gave up. And I've definitely grown in my artistry. I've done looks that I had never thought possible. I took the chance to do them, and they came out good. Well, in my opinion, they came out good. They may not look good to you guys, but for me, it was progress. And I did good up until June, and then July came, and it took me forever to get the July palette. And then when I got the palette, I was so disappointed in the color story. Like, my birthday is not even in July, but I just disliked that palette so much. Like, I had no motivation whatsoever. So matter of fact, let me start doing my face, because I could have had my primer on and said all of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of the favorites that I've incurred and got to use through 2021. It's been some gems that I just absolutely love. It's probably stuff that came out in 2020 but I wasn't using. But the very first one is going to be the LYS Glow Serum. So clearly you can tell that I like this because I used it in another video and it was like up here. So this is outstanding for me. It's very thin but very useful in a sense because it doesn't break me out, and it's not so thick that I get whiteheads on my skin because some stuff I can't use is super thick. And then the next day I'll wake up and have whiteheads where I applied the lotion. So it's so lightweight, my skin gets hydrated, and it's just super easy to use, and I just love it. I have nothing but good things to say about it. And so I'm going to let this sit for a bit because I'm actually going to put a primer on top of this. So I'm gonna let this really soak into my skin. So this may or may not be a long video. I might try to edit it to cut down on the time because I feel like I'm gonna do a lot of talking about reflections and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to make use of my time. But anywho, what was I saying? Oh, so I did not film in July because I just didn't like the palette. I can't even remember now if I even got the palette in July, or if I did, I got it on the very last day of July and I couldn't film on that day. So I got behind, and then August came and I had lost my motivation. It's kind of like when you start exercising and then you have to stop exercising for whatever reason. Something happens and you can't exercise, and then you can't get back into the swing of things. But I also didn't realize how much time is dedicated to like editing videos and things of that nature, because I had never edited videos before. So I had to learn how to do it. And I film everything on my phone. I don't have a camera, so I edit, I film, I do every single thing on my phone. And that's very tedious because I don't want to be on my phone to do this. But because I was only doing a video one time a month, and I did film some get ready with me's. Typically when I would have vacation days, I would film a get ready with me because I was getting makeup, but I'm not going anywhere because of the pandemic. I work from home, so I wasn't wearing it. So I would just film random get ready with me's when I would have vacation days from work. Or if I had to go somewhere, on the rare occasions I would go somewhere, I would film those get ready with me's because I was doing something. And so I got out of the swing of things, and then September came around, and for September I didn't want to do anything for my birthday in September. Like, everybody asked me, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I didn't want to do anything because for me, my friend's safety is more important than a get together, and you cannot account for the whereabouts of everybody. Like, I'm a homebody, but my friends still go out and live their lives. They still go out and, work their jobs every day, and they interact with other people, and you don't know everybody else's COVID precautions. Just because I'm safe and I believe my friends are safe, it doesn't mean that the people they hang around, their other friends, have the same precautions that we do. And I just did not feel comfortable gathering anybody in my home or going to a restaurant to sit inside, because I know they would do it for me. That was not the question, but I just did not feel comfortable putting anybody in that situation. So I decided not to do anything for my birthday. And I think when I said I didn't want to do anything, people meant that I didn't want any gifts. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted gifts for my birthday, and I did not get a gift from a single one of my friends this year. And I got every single one of my friends a birthday gift throughout this whole year. So I was even more upset about it because I was like, does not wanting to do something equate to not sending a birthday gift? Because I gave everybody Amazon gift cards. I was like, I'm sending this via email. I might text some people, y'all are getting something, but I'm not going to see you to give it to you, but just know I was thinking about you. And yeah, so I was kind of upset about that. Like, I wasn't in the space to film, because one of the things that I realized is that I don't want to be fake on camera. I don't want to fake it till I make it type situation. I'm not that type of person. And I will tell people, like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm not in the mood or whatnot. But I don't think people understand when I say things like that, that my feelings are hurt. Because I was like, oh, that hurt my feelings. And because I said, oh, that hurt my feelings, people kind of gloss over it. But I'm really serious, like, that hurt my feelings. But if I'm not like, yeah, that hurt my feelings because you did blah, 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 that's not my personality. Me saying my feelings are hurt is signal enough. I'm telling you my feelings are hurt. So, yeah. And so I'm going to move on to the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. So I actually really like this. I only used it, I think, in one other video. I think it was a Get Ready With Me, and I really, really liked it. I just got it, so yeah, I haven't had the chance to use it, but on top of all the other primers that I have, I actually really, really, really like this one. So, and it's so mattifying. And as I always say, make sure you press it into the skin and you let it sit. Give it time to do its thing. Don't rush. Don't rush. So, yeah. And then when October came around, and I was still ordering palettes. I never stopped ordering palettes because I was like, I said I was going to do it. In the back of my mind, I knew that I had promised myself to do it and I did not want to fail. But I had just lost my motivation and I was super tired from working. And so when November came around, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And so I started back filming quite a few items in like the last part of November. Like, I actually filmed November in November, but I didn't post it because it was important to me to post these in chronological order. I could have posted them as I filmed them, but because I didn't film anything after July in chronological order. I filmed them based on how much I liked or disliked the palette. And so when I got the November palette was so pretty. I really, really liked it. My mom's birthday was in November, so that was the first one that I filmed. And after I started filming in November, it was kind of like crash filming after that. And so I finally filmed July, and July was the hardest video for me to film, hands down, this year, because I disliked that palette so much. And it was because all of the colors in that palette were just terrible to me. It wasn't red, it was pink. Like, I just felt disappointed for the people who had a birthday in January because I feel like they got a terrible palette. And that's nothing against BH Cosmetics, because not everything that everybody puts out, not everything a company puts out, every single person is gonna like it. You're going to have people who dislike your product. That's just inevitable with any product on the earth. And so that product for me was just a no. So I struggled to get through that video. It took me, I think, 2 hours to film that video because I struggled so much with the eyeshadows in that palette. But anywho, and then I went on to film September, then I filmed October, and then I filmed, and now I'm filming December actually in December. And so some of the items that I use, like the items that I used in the August video, I think I skipped over August and then I filmed August. August, September, October, and now I'm filming December. So a lot of the items I used in the October or August video, I had actually purchased in the Sephora sale in October. So yeah, and I just feel like it's important to be transparent. Okay, so now that this has set down, I'm gonna start doing all my other stuff as usual. This did not come out in 2020. This came out years ago from Fenty Beauty, but my lips are dry right now, so I'm using this. This is still the best for when you have dead skin. I use the Laneige one when my skin on my lips is not, when I don't have dead skin, but I know I have dead skin on right now. And so now I'm gonna go in with Kosas. So that has been my favorite concealer of 2020. I have two colors here, and when you put them side by side, they look extremely similar. Let me turn them this way. So this is 6.5. Yep, and this is 7. So I initially got 7, and I like this. And this is like concealer that you would use on a everyday basis. Like if I was going to work, I would probably use this. I wouldn't necessarily put on foundation. So I'm just going to go over my hyper pigmentation because in my mind, I want this look to be a culmination of all the techniques that I've learned over the course of 2021, because I feel like I've gotten better at a lot of techniques over the year that I wasn't as good with initially. And then I'm going to use 6.5. I got 6.5 in order to actually have highlight. It was light enough for it to be seen, but not so light that it wasn't conducive to look. You know, people wear their concealers too light sometimes, and then it's like, well, you just look like a ghost now because your concealer's too light. And so I'm taking this is an Eco Tools sponge, and I like these sponges better. Like I like stuff that you can get at Target better than I like the Beauty Blender, because the Beauty Blender is too soft to me. I like a firm sponge. Sonia Kashuk is my favorite, but I wanted to use a clean sponge for this video, so that's why I picked up the Eco Tools one. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put number 6.5 on my eyes. And yeah, so that's how I got here today. And I think it's important to be transparent. Like in the times that we're living in, and you know, stress and mental health are at an all-time high. I think one of the ways that we can heal not only ourselves but one another is being honest and not pretending that things don't exist, that feelings don't exist. It's real out here in these streets. And even though like I don't have a high following of people who watch my videos, I can't imagine the pressure that people who are like Nikki Tutorials or Jackiana, or people who are of that level, feel when they need to film a video and they're just not mentally in the headspace. But because you've signed contracts and all of that, you still have to go ahead and film. And so I'm just going to use the One Size powder to set my eyes. And I'm not going to go through my brushes on this video, simply because they've been listed in all of my YouTube videos for the most part in replacements, and I legitimately use the same brushes, in almost every single tutorial. They've appeared in multiple ones, if not back to back. So just to save time, because like I said, I know I'm gonna do a lot of talking because I'm actually reflecting as I'm doing this. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so you know, I can't imagine the pressure that they feel because they're honored, they have to honor contracts and things of that nature. And so even though I'm not as big as they are by any means, I still felt the pressure to meet deadlines and come up with content and be inspired. Like when they said being inspired, I couldn't comprehend what they meant. And like I've had palettes, and when I look at palettes, like, oh, I like these colors, I'm gonna use these. But because these palettes are so small, you don't have a lot of colors to pick from, so you have to make something work. And that was the challenge I gave myself, not to use any other palettes other than the colors that were in the palette itself. So tonight's star, Turquoise for December. I think this packaging is the prettiest by far out the whole year. It's almost like they saved the best for last, to be honest. And I think the colors in this palette are absolutely stunning. Like this color right here, this glitter color, one of the most beautiful ones that I've seen. I think this represents turquoise very well. The stone, all of these colors can be found in it. Even just looking at the packaging, it's an accurate reflection of these colors that you're seeing in the package. So I'm gonna go ahead and swatch as I talk through these. And so the first color, turquoise, to me, this is a little bit light, but I'm not gonna nitpick about it. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch because there are other colors in here that I think make up for it. So turquoise, pretty. And then the color influential. And one of my dearest friends was born in December. I met him in college and we're still very good friends to this day. And I think he's definitely an influential person because he has done well. He's taken any, you know, setbacks that he's had and turned them into positives, and he's pulled himself up by the bootstraps. He's always been super smart, done well in school. He's always pursued his dreams. Like he moved to Florida, you know, just because he wanted to do I can't remember, it was an internship or volunteer program, and made the best out of it. Like I've always admired him because he was never afraid to take a step forward into unventured territory and see how it worked. If it worked, it didn't work. If it did, great. And I've always admired that about him. He's always kept pushing forward, doing what he needed to do to be successful, being a positive influence to youth in the community. Like I'm just very proud of him and all the things that he's accomplished over the years. And I think he's a very upstanding citizen, a very good person. So I'm honored to be a good friend of his. I just think he's a very outstanding person. I think he is very influential in that sense because when he speaks, people listen. For him to be so young, because we're only 34, like we're very young in our careers, so to speak. And I think he's made leaps and bounds, and when you have people who are in their 40s and 50s listening to you and coming to you for your opinion, I think that says a lot about you. The neutral color down here, which is friendly, and you know how I do. So yeah, this is just like a neutral transition color here. I take whoever I know born in these months, and I think if these characteristics are if they describe that person. He's very friendly. He loves to meet new people, very outgoing, very outspoken. Yep. Good vibes. This color reminds me of turquoise. That's what I feel like the true color of turquoise. I would imagine this color should have been as dark as this, but that's neither here nor there. The turquoise they have here reminds me of aquamarine, to be honest, but again, that's me being extra. Good vibes. He's always positive, but he's also very honest. And to me, honesty is very key when you are friends with somebody. It's not beating around the bush. It's being honest with your friends, because I feel like that's what true friendship is. I don't want to worry about hurting your feelings if I'm trying to be honest, because I know you should know if your friends are being honest with you. It's not a dig towards you. And I think a lot of people have poor friendships in the fact they're friends with people and they feel like when they say something, a critique about you, it's a dig against them. And for some people it really could be, but if that's the case, then you don't need to be friends with that person. But true friendships, you should be able to be honest about how you feel, and that person should be able to reciprocate or give you advice or be honest with you about it, and it not just glide over the surface. So he's definitely good vibes, positive, absolutely. In the gold color wise, yeah, like I just said, you know, when you have people who are in their 40s and 50s listening and looking to you for an explanation or a solution to a issue, you got some wisdom going on at a young age. Ambitious, I think from what I've said already, y'all know my friend is very ambitious. I actually really like this brown, a nice warm brown. I like that. And then last but not least is Wild Thing. And I will definitely say my friend, he is wild in the sense he's going to, oh, that is stunning. I love that. I love that. To me, this is like the glitter equivalent of this one. He lives his best life. He always says you have one life to live, and he's gonna live his. And that's something that me and him frequently, well, I won't say frequently argue about, but that's something he always gets on me about being a homebody. He was like, you have to get out, you have to explore the world, don't stop living, you have to get out. Because even before the pandemic, I was still a homebody. So the pandemic does not affect me in the same way for like people who are used to being out and about. And being out and about is not necessarily like being out at a club. You can go be in like a sports league or a bowling league or something like that, where you meet weekly or every bi-weekly, like being in groups like book clubs and things of that nature. You're still active with other people. And for a lot of people, those are the things that they thrive on, is their interaction with other people or the clubs that they're in. That's something that they look forward to in their life. So when you take that away, it becomes really hard for some people to function. Okay, so now we're gonna get started. So I have a look in mind that I want to do. I hope that it comes out the way I want it to come out. So I'm just going to be hopeful that it will. So I'm gonna go into the color Friendly, and I'm just gonna pick it up on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go over my whole lid as the base here. And like I was saying about this palette, I think it's the prettiest one by far. The colors are curated well, they make sense. But I was actually inspired by this because when I looked at it, I had a look that immediately popped in my head. And I've made some changes in the look over the course of me thinking about it since I got the palette. So I'm gonna go into the color Ambitious, and I'm gonna put that in my crease. So, okay, fantastic. That's exactly how I wanted it to look. Give some depth. And just because you have an idea doesn't mean that it's going to be executed exactly how you picture it, because you don't know. Like, this is a brand new palette, and I don't touch these palettes. I didn't touch any of these palettes until I would literally be filming. So it's not like I had rubbed my fingers in the pan. Like, I had no idea what the colors look like in the, like, other than looking at them in the pan. I had no idea once I put them on the skin what they were gonna look like. So it was always like a learning curve, to be honest. and it was fun. Okay, so what I plan to do is I want to use the color Good Vibes here to be a eyeliner. And then I'm going to go in after I create that eyeliner and fill in with Wisdom, this champagne looking color. I'm gonna try to do a double wing, so let's see how that looks. It's a lot of work, but I'm here for it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. So I'm gonna take this Morphe 137 brush. It's really thin, and I'm gonna go into this Good Vibes color. I probably actually scratch that. Oh yeah, that's pigmented. So I'm gonna be really careful with this. So I'm gonna go in with my Mary Kay eyeliner eyebrow brush, and I'm gonna go into Good Vibes and make a start little line here. And you know what? I got scared, y'all. Like, have you ever, I've used these palettes so many times and I've gotten burned. Like, I'm afraid. That's so sad because I want it to come out. By this point, I should be fearless, but I'm more scared about the color not being correct. So first I'm gonna go into Influential and put that all over my lid. And I don't want this to be like heavy color, so that's why I'm actually using the brush to apply it, because I know I can use my fingers and make it more intense, but I don't want this look to be intense. I just want it to be some color on my lid, like a wash of color, and that's why I'm not using the gold color on top. I haven't decided if I'm gonna use the gold just yet. I might use it as the inner corner, but I want to see how the look looks first before I add it, because you know you can add that one thing and it just throws everything off. So I'm trying to be very strategic with how I'm doing stuff. Okay, so back to my loaded brush with the Good Vibes turquoise color. Let's see. And I'm literally trying to, okay, yeah, I can see it. I'm just trying to press it literally into my lash line here. And I know I could flip the brush over, but I'd rather, and I might just have to do one eye on camera, because this look that I'm thinking in my head may take a while, but it's literally New Year's Eve, so even though I'm not going anywhere, this is my farewell to 2020, and I'm sending it out with positive vibes and reflections on the year. And a part of me doesn't even want to add this wing at the end, but like to stop while I'm ahead, but we'll see. Okay, fantastic. So far, so good. And in my mind, like over the months, you all have seen me try to use these eyeshadows as liners before, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It just depended on the color payoff for that particular color, and it looks like the colors in this palette are pigmented enough to use as eyeliners. They show up. So yep. But yeah, so I've definitely pushed myself to try new looks, do different things, do different techniques. Like, I hadn't really used eyeshadow as eyeliner too much before this with different colors. I had used it with black and brown before, but not with colors as much as I did with these palettes. And so I got practice in that sense using the palettes this way. Okay. Okay. Yep. So far, so good. All right. Now, I'm going to take the E37 brush from Morphe. I think I said 137 before. And then now I'm going to go into the color Turquoise. And I'm just going to line my bottom lash line here with it first, and then I'm actually going to bring it out up under the other wing. So to me, this is actually going to be 3 wings, and I'm going to use every color in this palette. That's the plan. Yeah, so I was extremely busy, and I was like, I'm not gonna give up on my New Year's resolution. So it's kind of like procrastinating to the very end, but I don't want to say that I was procrastinating. It was more so like I just lost the inspiration to keep going, and I stopped, but I got back, and you know, I'm trying to finish strong. So I think that's a lesson in itself to a certain extent, is that we all at some point lose our motivation, and it just varies from person to person what that looks like. Some people lose it early, some people go years and years and years doing stuff, and then one day they just like, I'm not doing this anymore, or they get fed up and they just lose their mojo to do it. And I'm proud of myself. Even if every video wasn't filmed in a month, I do apologize to July, August, September, October, November, because there were no videos up for your month. But I still did them, and they're being posted today. This one for December though, this most likely won't get posted until January 1st, 2022. So, but just know it was actually filmed in December. So, yeah. All right, so this color Wild Thing here, I'm just going to stick that in the middle of these 2 colors right there. It's so pigmented. I think it's very easy to go overboard. So instead of going overboard, I want to be very strategic with where I place it. And so I'm just going to use the Dew Set Spray from, who is this? Is this Anastasia Beverly Hills? MAC? I don't remember. I think this is Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm literally just spraying this angled brush so I can pick up this glitter color, and hopefully it will stay, it'll stay where I want it to go. Brush is splitting. Okay, let me try another brush. Let me try this angle brush here. And I'm still telling you the brushes out of habit, even though I said I'm not going to be talking about brushes, out of habit. But I enjoyed myself. When you go through something, or when you're in the midst of it, you can't necessarily see There we go. What you're learning at the moment or what you're gaining. And I feel like that's what this experience was like. At the time, all I could really see was how tired I was from working my everyday job. I just didn't have the energy to put into this filming, and you know, I didn't have a lot of people and support in it, so nobody was gonna miss it if I didn't post it anyway. But what I realized is that this is for me. It's not for anybody else. It's more of a testament to yourself, so to speak. And when I say that is, in life, there are things that you have to do for you. It's not meant for anybody else. It's your lesson that you have to learn. And for me, I spend so much time working, dedicating to work, that for a while I was working so many hours I didn't have a personal life. Like, I'd go into work at 7 o'clock in the morning and get off at like 8 o'clock at night. And I loved it. I didn't feel like I was missing out on a social life or anything like that, because work was important to me. Like, a social life was not important to me. And everybody has their goals, and I did the same thing again. I went ahead and did my eyes, the bottom part, and I haven't done the base yet. So that's the new technique that I learned, that I absolutely love, and that I'm very happy about. Yeah. So, but I'm still getting used to it. So I often forget to go in with it and do the color. And so I'm gonna go into Wise, and I'm gonna do the inner corner here and see what that looks like. So I'm very proud of myself though, not only for picking back up and starting again, but I personally feel where I can see where my expertise in makeup has grown. I'm still afraid to do certain looks, but I still do it anyway. Does this look exactly like I planned? No. But I still did it. And I think that's the point. You can't predict exactly what something is going to look like every single time. You can imagine what it should look like and hope and pray that it turns out that way, but nothing is guaranteed in this life. The only thing you can do is try your best and do the best. If you've done the best that you can and you know that you've given it everything that you have, that's not anything anybody can ever take away from you from doing the best that you can. And so I'm just going in, deepening these colors. I'm feeling like a Cleopatra moment right now, and I'm not mad about it. Okay, I like that. This didn't take as long as I thought it would. I like that quite a bit. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take this shader brush that I had before, and I'm just going to buff this color here and make it blend and look more seamless. Okay, so I'll go back and finish after, because I'm going to wear lashes. I keep saying I'm gonna put lashes and then change my mind, but I'm going to wear lashes today. So yeah, for face, we already know the drill. Concealer, ooh, that's a lot. So I'm gonna go over here, go over here, down my nose. But there are good things that came out of it other than the learning experiences that I've had. I think my mom actually realized like my passion for makeup, because before I don't think she realized how much I really invested and really liked makeup. I think she really thought it was a hobby, not something that I really like wanted to do possibly professionally. And I think with the YouTube channel, because I would send her the pictures of all the makeup looks that I've done, and she'd be like, oh, I like that, or she would say, oh, I don't like that one, or whatever the case may be. But she saw I was making an effort to really invest in doing well in this, and that I actually really do like makeup, even though I've been doing freelance makeup for like the last 3 years. I still don't think, oh no, that's fine. I still don't think she realized how much I really enjoyed it. That's fine. I'd rather it be on the bottom than on the top. And this technique, I really realized the power of concealer. I think I might have been a little bit too heavy-handed today, but that's okay. But yeah, and I think a lot of people who knew that I liked the makeup really got to understand when I started my YouTube channel how serious I was about it. And one of my most memorable things about it is the founder of LYS, right after they launched their products, actually came on watched my video review on the LYS foundation and products and everything, and actually commented. And that made me feel so special, because never in a million years would I think that the actual founder of a makeup brand look at my YouTube video and then to respond on it. So to me, that was memorable, because my opinion is being heard. I'm being seen by people, and whether that leads to PR or whatever, that's fine, but that wasn't the goal. For me, it was just to get to a YouTube channel. Like step one for me, like I'm just going in baby steps here. So, you know, again, I feel like that's confirmation. And I think one of the things that makes doing stuff like this so hard is because when you do things for so long without confirmation, or do things for so long without encouragement, it gets hard to keep going. So I'm just gonna go in with the NARS Radiant Skin Finish, or Creamy Skin Concealer. Can't even get the words out. And this is the color Truffle. I've used this one before. I forgot what I was saying. Well, I'll just go ahead and start blending this in. But yeah, people do things a long time without validation and confirmation. And when you're doing things without support or confirmation that you're doing the right things, like you start to doubt yourself sometimes, because you wonder, why am I dedicating so much time to doing this? Why, you know, is this what I really should be doing? If nobody's watching my videos, like, is there a reason for me to even be doing this? Like, what's the point? And I think that's part of the reason why, like, I stopped, because I know getting viewers on YouTube is not the easiest thing in the world, but I never expected my views to be so low, pretty much just family and friends viewing my content. And what I had to realize at the end of the day is what I'm getting out of this experience is beyond viewers. It's the practice that I'm getting with different eyeshadow colors, different techniques, expanding my horizons. Like, that's also a craft, because you have to think about it. People who practice karate, they practice for years and years and years before they become, you know, famous. They practice to compete in competitions to win awards. Like, some people, yeah, have natural talent, and then other people have to work at it. It's not necessarily natural to them. And for me, I don't feel like makeup is natural to me. It's something that I like, but I feel like I work hard at trying to do makeup, because I'm not like some people who can look at something and, you know, just go with it. That's not how my mind works. But there are some people who can look at nothing and create something from it. I'm just not one of those people. But I still love makeup nonetheless. It doesn't change how much I like it. It just means for me, I have to work a little bit harder at it, and I'm okay with putting in that work. And then a part of me also understands that, you know, I may not be on anybody's PR package, because makeup might be just an outlet for me. It might not be meant for me to have a career in makeup, because I might end up hating it if I turn it into a career. So, you know, with freelance, I do it when I want to, charge what I want to, but you have to keep your skills up so that people want to come to you. So that's part of any artist. Like, you can be known for something, to have a specialty, but over time, like, you have to hone that skill, and you have to have something else in the bag, because that might not always, you know, pay the bills, so to speak. All right, eyebrows done really quickly today. I like that. And the reason I went ahead and did it before I did my foundation was because I know that I'm going to put foundation over that area. So, all right. And then my favorite foundation of 2021, LYS Triple Fix Foundation. You just can't beat it with a stick. Like, the price point is $22. The color range they have is fantastic. It's a clean brand. It's Black owned, woman owned. Like, and this was from the company where, you know, she commented on my YouTube review. And that's not one of the reasons I'm picking it. It's genuinely a good product. And I have used this in several of my videos, because this is one of the few brands where they actually have a foundation color that's an exact match for me. And that's very rare. They have a neutral, and when I put it on, it just melts into the skin. And it does particularly well with this new technique. So I just really like the way my skin looks. And I never have to use a lot Like, you can just tell how my face came together just that quick. And that was with one pump. One pump. And I could definitely go over it again, you know, with another pump, but it's not necessary when you use this technique with doing concealer first, because it reduces the amount of foundation that you use, most definitely. I can honestly say that. And I just feel like my face always looks more put together. I just love it's a satin finish. It's not flat. And I have on a mattifying primer, but it's able to still maintain its luminosity on top of a mattifying primer. So I think that's saying something about the foundation. Not anything against the primer itself, but I just feel like my base looks so good. Like, every time, it always looks good. All right, so now that that's done, I'm gonna go in and start powdering. So I'm gonna go back over to my sponge here, and with this technique, you literally just look up. And I always have to check to make sure that I don't get my eyeshadow on my sponge here, because I always put I always end up putting on my eyeshadow on before I do my concealer. So that's on me. Then I'm just gonna go in with my little puff and scoop up my LYS powder. This is the Triple Fix Press Powder, my favorite of the year. I've tried other ones, but I just think pressed powder is my preference. I think I prefer pressed powder over loose powder. And it's nothing wrong. Like, all the loose powders that I tried this year, the one size, I really like that for transparent, because it's not white. It has a yellow hue to it. And yellow hues work much better on my skin than white. But I always end up coming back to my LYS. Always. Because I just feel like it looks the best on me. It looks the best. To my preference, it does what I want it to do. Like, I'm actually starting to get a dent. But yeah, I feel like this experience was for me to get out my comfort zone, to experience and try different things, to learn, to use the products that I've been buying and just sitting, not doing anything with. Yeah. So I think it was more so for me, and any support and perks that came along the way were great. But I feel like it was really for me to learn to push through. Not that I don't push through things, but to push myself to get out of my comfort zone, to do something that I've never done, to experience something different, and understand that it's okay. And that I don't always have to worry and plan so far ahead for everything, to live in the moment. Sometimes, I'm not gonna say every time, because that's not something I can do, but to enjoy new experiences and learn along the way. So for my powder contour, I'm using the Hendash Beautoxy palette. By far, this has been my best purchase of 2021, because, and you can see that I like this palette, especially for the contour colors, because to me, this is a well thought out contour palette. Well, it's a well thought out palette in the gradient effect that it has in each dish, but the fact that I can customize my own contour color is important to me, because there are times when I want to be cooler, and then there are times when I want to be warmer. So Cooler meaning having a contour, warmer meaning that I want to look bronzed, I want to look sun-kissed. And I can customize that color. And then the fact that this down here exists, Intra Infinitum, for people who are of deeper skin tones. Like I have two of these. I have one for me and I have one in my makeup kit. And I was able to contour this client with this palette because I could create the correct contour color for her. I didn't have to hope that what I had in my palette would look good on her. It would be the right skin. It would be the right undertone for her. It wouldn't be too dark. It wouldn't be too light. It wouldn't show up. I was able to make sure that her of a richer complexion had contour. And that was a feeling that I felt as a makeup artist that made me happy. It wasn't even on me, it was on my client. Now, you know, a lot of times, most of the times when you do clients, they're not that savvy about makeup anyway. Whatever you do will be better than what they would typically do on their own anyway. So it doesn't matter. But for me, as a freelance makeup artist, I don't want to just do something to get by. I want all of my clients to be able to be treated and have the same options as somebody who is my complexion has for somebody on a deeper skin complexion. And I was able to achieve that with this palette. And I actually wore this to my friend's birthday dinner in May. And I used everything in this palette. I used these colors here, paint as an under eye setting powder on top of my foundation. I used it for a blush. I used it as an eyeshadow. I used it for contour. Like when I say I have used this palette in every capacity possible, I have put this palette through the ringer, and I have, like I said, nothing but good things to say about it because I love this palette so much. I love what it represents to me. Now, you know, Hen Dash's reasoning for doing it to make it universal, I commend him, but I am happy that it's actually universal, because a lot of brands will say universal, and this is not universal. The palette won't be universal. It'll just be okay. Literally, that's kind of how you feel. Sometimes you hear it so much that it's like, okay, you say it's universal. Let me see how, is it for real universal, or are you just trying to get my money? But I can vouch and say that this is actually universal, and I've used it, and I'm very happy with it to promote it, to buy it twice and add it to my makeup kit. So that's saying a lot, because this palette is not it's on up there, but I think for what it does, it's worth every penny. The fact that you can use it all over the face for different reasons makes it worth the $70. I think it was originally $75. It was worth the price point, because if I had to pack lightly and I could only pack one thing, I would pack this with my foundation and some lip gloss and maybe an eyeliner. That would literally be it. If I had to choose like 4 items, this, foundation, eyeliner, and lip gloss, because I can get blush, eyeshadow, and everything else I need out of this. So that's worth the money when it replaces other items. That's how I look at it. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to use my Kosas setting powder to blend everything together. I really want it to be super contoured, so I'm definitely super contoured. right now. And this is just what I use to blend everything together, get rid of any harsh lines. I don't know what it is. This is the setting brush from Fenty Beauty, the 170. But whenever I use this Kosas powder and I go over everything, everything just melts into the skin. Okay. All right. So now, favorite setting spray. One Size On Till Dawn setting spray. When I tell you this is hairspray in a can, and I can actually spray it on my face. Y'all, when I tell you I was searching high and low after I got this in my little Christmas pack from Sephora, they had a little trial where you got the primer, the what was it, the primer, the setting powder, and the setting spray. And the first time I used this, I'm just pressing this into the skin, but this is really unnecessary, legitimately unnecessary for this. When I tell you it made the biggest difference, because I actually sprayed it on my face. Y'all know that I hate spraying setting spray on my face because it's wet. This is like spraying hairspray on your face. It does absolute wonders. Like, everything is melted into my skin. It's mattifying, but I still have this radiant glow, and I still believe that's from the LYS foundation. Like, you can't put the glow away. And it's not dewy glow, it's glow from within glow. Maybe it's the serum too, I don't know, but this glow that I got going on, I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. So now that the face is all set, we'll go back to the eyes. And because the technique is relatively new, that's why I keep forgetting to do. So I'm just gonna refresh. This here. So I'm literally just refreshing the turquoise. And like I said, it's New Year's Eve, so if there's any time to wear this eyeshadow, it's today, even though I'm going nowhere except in front of this camera with you all. I can say I rang in the new year with a bold face. And that's the honest truth. And some people would smoke out the lower lash line. That's not personally my thing, to smoke out a lower lash line. I don't feel like I have the space to do all of that. So this is good enough for me. So I'm gonna try something different. I'm going to use my favorite mascara before I put on lashes. So everybody says put on mascara before you put on lashes. And for me, that has always made putting on lashes like so much harder. But apparently that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm gonna try it again. So I only put on a little bit, just enough to coat my lashes. But yeah, I haven't really worn lashes too much this year. So I'm literally trying a new lash this year. I'm gonna go with It's a Look from the House of Lashes with their collaboration with Patrick Ta. I don't want over the top lashes, but I still want some lashes. So Yeah, so we're gonna see what these look like. So what I immediately noticed is that this lash band is like non-existent. So I'm gonna use my little House of Lash glue, which this is my favorite lash glue. I have been trying different lash pens, which I actually really like, but I'm gonna stick with my OG. I finally replaced it, and I got the little one instead of getting the big one because, like I said, I don't wear makeup like that. So essentially what ended up happening is my large bottle just kind of ended up drying out because I went so long in between using it, and I had the dark and the clear. And to be honest, I don't use the dark eyeliner hardly, or excuse me, the dark glue hardly at all. I prefer the clear. And then I prefer to draw in my liner if I want it to be dark. Because usually I don't wear black eyeliner too much anymore. I don't wear eyeliner in general too much anymore, but definitely not black. I would choose to wear like a brown eyeliner. So, yeah. So I'm going to grip the lashes, and I'm going to, they should be tacky enough now. And one of the reasons I like the House of Lash glue is because it starts to turn like a holographic color when it gets ready for you to stick it down. You can see like the glue actually drying. So I'm just going to pull up a mirror here so I can see, because I don't want to ruin my eyeshadow. Okay. And sorry, not trying to blind you guys. Okay. I can't believe I got them on this way. I'm shocked. Next lash. And the same thing. Drop it in the center. You always have that one eye that doesn't want to cooperate. I said go to the center, and it said no. Okay, and then the front. Oh my goodness, y'all, my lashes cooperated with me on camera. It didn't take forever. All right. I'm so excited, you guys. Yay. So I'm just gonna go back in with my Sky High and just do my lashes for real this time. Ow. And then do my bottom lashes. I feel like bottom lashes are what makes a look. Okay. And now for blush. We're moving on quite swiftly. All right. So my favorite blush is the McGRATH Lab Divine Blush Glow Trio in Amber Allure. This was an exciting purchase for me because I had looked at these when they were first launched in the earlier part of the year, and it just was too expensive for my blood. Like I've always said, I pay for all of these items out of pocket. So, you know, I have to make choices like pay my bills or spend $50 or $60 on a blush trio. And so when Sephora had their, was it semi-annual sale, this was included in the 20% off. So I got it then, and it was worth the wait because I ended up being able to get 3 colors for $50 something versus one blush by itself for $40 something. So for me, I feel like this was pretty much a steal because I feel like I definitely got this highlighter for free, paid for one blush and a little bit of another color blush. So for me, that's a win-win situation. So I'm gonna go in with Paradise Venus here in the middle with a terracotta, this terracotta color. And I'm just gonna take a big fluffy brush here. This is the My Ray Ray one. No, that's too fluffy. I'm gonna take this, it's My Ray Ray number 4. It's kind of like a flat paddle brush, and I'm literally just gonna tap on it. And I'm gonna put it actually over here. I'm not gonna put it on the apples of my cheeks today. I'm gonna put it over here because I've noticed that when blush is like over here and you kind of put it on top of your contour, I like the way that looks better. I still like it on the apples of my cheeks, but in order to keep the contour effect, I think it looks better over here. And you can still see it, but I just like the placement better on the sides. All right, then we're gonna do highlight. We're going for the whole shebang. My favorite brush, you guys know, that I picked up from the beauty supply store randomly. I just thought it was pretty. And doing Venus Nectar here. I am so happy with how my makeup came out with my eyeshadow. It's a lot more subtle than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more over the top, but I love this. I love the simplicity of it, even though it was literally all 7 colors in the palette. And so, last but not least, I'm going to wipe off this lip treatment. And I'm gonna go in with my So Rare lip liner from Juvia's Place. This has made so many appearances in my video, and I'm not a lip liner person, y'all. And one of the reasons I wasn't a lip liner person was because I could not find a lip liner that was light enough for me. So I felt like most brown liners were just simply too dark for my lips. And that just wasn't my style. So I ended up really disliking lip liner, and I couldn't understand for the life of me why every YouTuber was like, oh, lip line your lips. And I'd be like, why? Because I like plain lip color, like you've seen where I just wear my lips completely plain with color, especially with stunner lip paints, because I just like stunner lip paint. But for the nude colors, I do think a lip liner is necessary, but I could never find the right shade for me. It was always way too deep, way too chocolatey. So with this, Juvia's Place had the right color for me. I don't think it's too deep. I don't think it's too dark. I think it's just right. And if I wanted to go a shade lighter, they have an option for me to pick that's lighter. So I'm gonna go in with Juvia's Place lipstick in the color Lady, and I'm gonna do a nude. That was one thing that I learned to like throughout this process. Nudes were not something I would wear at all. I always felt like, what's the point of putting on a nude lipstick if it's gonna be the same color as your lips with lip liner? What's the point? And sometimes you don't necessarily want a lot of color. You just, you know, want something to tone it down a little bit. And that's something that I learned with working with lip colors, different lip colors, but also with different eyeshadow colors. There were just, because in everyday life, I wear lip gloss. That's my preferred, lip coverage of choice. I wear lip gloss, or I will always wear the pink, the mauve colored lip paint from the mauve colored Stunner lip paint. I can't think of the name right now, but those were like my go-to. And once we started wearing masks, lip gloss is out because your lips are just gonna stick to it. So I had to resort to wearing the Stunner lip paints because they don't transfer. Once you dry them down and blot them down the correct way, they don't transfer. So because of that, I had to kind of adjust how I did my lips, because my favorite way of wearing lip gloss really wasn't an option. So yeah, so there you have it, you guys. This is the final face. I don't even have to do set and spray again. I'm not going anywhere, but this is the final look. It's a culmination of all the techniques that I learned throughout the year, and I definitely see where there was improvement. My eyeshadow, I feel like, looks really good. It's very expressive. I use all 7 colors in the palette, which I had not been able to do, but at the end of the year I used all 7 colors. Yeah, I just grew exponentially over the year, and I think it really shows in my makeup. Even with putting on lashes, it took me 5 minutes to put on lashes, and I'm very proud of myself and how far I've come and how much I learned makeup wise. So thank you, and I'll be back with the last final look of the year. All right, everybody, so this is the final look. I am so pleased with how this turned out. I am so very pleased. So to all my December babies out there, I hope you have had a wonderful birthday. And if your birthday is today, happy birthday. If your birthday has passed, happy birthday. I'm wishing you all happiness, health, love, peace. I can't even think of everything that I'm wishing you, and anybody who's watching this video, whether it's your birthday or not, going into 2022. Thank you to anyone and everyone who has watched the video or watched all my videos, giving me support or words of encouragement, giving me suggestions. Thank you so much. I am wishing that you, your family, your friends, your loved ones, that you and everyone around you is happy, healthy, loved, prosperous, and just blessed going forward into 2022. I am wishing you all the best, and thank you so much for supporting this channel throughout the year, being patient with me for my posts, and I hope to see you all again in 2022. Just thank you, and I am so happy with how this look turned out. So until the next time we meet again on YouTube, Happy New Year.